confidence is there. Hope is back for Nigeria.
Renewed hope, Nigeria First policy coming to strengthen domestic industries and contents, and a statement of unity and collaboration made as President Tinubu visits Oka. Hello and welcome to Executive Recap as we bring you highlights of presidential activities within the outgone week. I am Musbah Wahab. Thanks a lot for joining us on the program. The week began with a quest to strengthen patriotism as the federal government is about to launch new major policies to prioritize and grow local contents and industries. The initiatives would come under an umbrella policy titled Renewed Hope, Nigeria First Policy. Information and National Orientation Minister Mohammed Idris announced this as one of the outcomes of a council's meeting for the week.
And this is a proposal by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on what he calls the Renewed Hope Nigeria First policy.
It is a policy that aims to herald a new era of growth for local industries and products.
This seeks to foster a new business culture that will be bold, confident, but also very, very Nigerian. And it aims at making government to invest in our people and our industries by changing how government spends money, how we procure, and how also we build our economy. Going forward, Nigerian industry will take precedence in all procurement processes. Where local supply falls short, contracts will be structured to build capacity domestically. Contractors will no longer serve as intermediaries sourcing foreign goods where local factories die idle.
The Bureau of Public Procurement has therefore been mandated to immediately revise and enforce procurement guidelines to prioritize locally produced goods and homegrown solutions, creates a local content compliance framework, among other tasks. There are also directives to ministries, departments and agencies of government.
No procurement of foreign goods or services already available locally shall proceed without justification and a written waiver from BPP. Number two, where no viable local option exists, contracts must include provisions for technology transfer, local production, or skills development. By way of example, the provision of quota allocations under the Sugar Master Plan should take into consideration participants' backward integration plans and investment in Nigeria and ensure compliance with the master plan.
The Attorney General of the Federation is expected to prepare an executive order for the President to issue on this policy. The federal government is also preparing to tap into full potential of cocoa as the highest non-oil contributor to the nation's GDP. The Council approved that the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security submit a draft bill for the establishment of a National Cocoa Management Board.
We had meetings prior to what we have submitted with our sister countries on the need to harmonize and see how we can enhance the production, the processing, and also the marketing of cocoa, which is a very valuable agricultural resource.
The administration is also staying true to its promise to check flooding in Nigeria with the award of contract for the rehabilitation and expansion of 4 major dams, including Tiga Dam in Kano, Chalawa Dam, and Kafinchiri irrigation projects.
Contract has been awarded for the repair of the Alao Dam in Maiduguri. You may recall that this dam caused the flooding in Maiduguri last year. So this contract has been awarded to prevent such occurrence this year.
Ministry of Works also got approval to award contract for about 10 roads and bridges across the country.
We have good news out of the Section 1 of the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway. That Section 1, in over 70% work has been done. And so 30 kilometers is going to be made available for Mr. President to commission. And another 10 kilometers is going to be made available for Section 2. And of course, Sokoto Bagadagri, we want to make available 10 kilometers completed on concrete at KB axis before the 25th of May.
The Council has also approved new National Integrated Electricity Policy and the National Policy on Marine and Blue Economy. One of the outcomes of the Federal Executive Council meeting for the week is the establishment of a Cocoa Management Board. We had a conversation with the Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Abubakar Kyari. Let's take a listen. Right, we have the Honorable Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Honorable Abubakar Kyari, with us. Thanks a lot for your time, sir.
Thank you very much.
Okay, the Federal Executive Council has just given you an urgent assignment upon the receipt of your memo that you presented, and that's a drafting of a bill on the National Cocoa Management Board. Can we know what this board is set to achieve when it comes up?
Well, let me just start by saying, let me go back history. We all know that cocoa is a very viable and productive commodity and is the highest non-oil contributor to Nigerian GDP, non-oil. So we are also behind in terms of production. Cote d'Ivoire is number one, Ghana is number one in the West African coast. So this started much earlier than now, but it has never received such a traction, in this short period of the president's, Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration. When in August 2022, a meeting was held between the West African sister countries of Cote d'Ivoire and Ghana and Nigeria to see how we can collaborate and see what they are doing, that they have sustained that production levels of cocoa. And it was agreed that the National Cocoa Management Committee to be set up, and thereafter a National Cocoa Management Board, which will be which will be presented to Mr. President and then to FEC for onward transmission to National Assembly for the bill for passage.
So what's the board coming up to bring on the board, if I may put it that way, because we've been having this product or produce in the country for years, as long as Nigeria has been. So what should Nigerians expect this board to do when it's finally formed?
Well, because the board, the commodity cocoa has, it's something that is traded outside of the country, and it's a huge foreign exchange earner. So what this board seeks to do is to regulate from the mile one, which is the farmer, to the consumer at the end of the day. So which involves production of the cocoa itself, with planting, production, aggregating, processing, marketing, and for external trade. So the board is not supposed to buy or sell. They're only to regulate and coordinate between the farmers, between the commodity buyers and the exporters, and to make sure that quality is maintained, and to also make sure that the farmer is protected for future production. So this is what obtains in, like I said, in Cote d'Ivoire and Ghana, and we have seen the opportunities, the tremendous value added into the cocoa as beyond just what we have now. which is just as a deputy director and the Federal Minister of Agriculture, who is in charge of the cocoa value chain. And so, but this, with what we have, we'll have research people on the board. There will be a chairman of the board, and the Minister of Agriculture will be the chairman of the board. Then there will be an executive vice chairman, which will be appointed by Mr. President. And then we'll have members of the Federal Department of Agriculture. We'll have members from the Federal Ministry of Industry and Trade. We'll have members from the Central Bank. And most important also, the cocoa producing states will be represented by their deputy governors on the board, which we had happened at one time, but we're bringing it back on board, to make sure that we have the involvement, collaboration, and buy-in of the subnationals. As you all are aware, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's inclusiveness in terms of agriculture and everything in the economy that he seeks to partner with the state governments is one of it. This aligns to that renewed hope agenda of Mr. President.
All right, Honorable Minister, like you have mentioned, it's going to be from the start, that's farming of a produce and then to the end users.
Yes.
One thing is key here, that is the value chain, the entire value chain of this production. Is this board going to be concerned with the production of cocoa refining or turning it into the final product that people want to consume? Are you working?
Oh yes, certainly. We are looking, like I said, a member of Federal Ministry of Trade will be a member of that board. And also we'll have cocoa farmers on board. We'll have cocoa processors. It's a long list of membership of those that will be on the board. And I think it's all inclusive, private sector and public sector, and everybody and subnationals will all be there to make sure that the value chain is, and you mentioned, I mean, if we're going to, from our cocoa, we're going to bring it to the table or to the shelves of the shop in locally, so be it. I mean, that's adding value to what we have, and it's a commodity that has tremendous opportunity that we can leverage on. We have a huge challenge coming from South America and Asia. They're also going into cocoa production. And of course, you are aware of the European Union Deforestation Act that prohibits the sale or from their side, the export to the European Union of produce or commodities that are produced from deforested areas. So we have to take that as a challenge and explore, and we have a very wide opportunity of arable land that we could grow cocoa without necessarily hampering on the forest. So it's also from, like I said, cultivation to processing, to trading, to marketing, to, and if we're going to process, into chocolates or beverages or even cocoa butter, the ones that is used for skincare. So the opportunities are tremendous, and I believe we can leverage on those opportunities and try to get in, especially a situation where we have a dwindling relevance of hydrocarbons, and then, we can, and Mr. President's agenda on the support of the agricultural sector.
All right, Honorable Minister, I'm taking it from where you just said landed. Now, you said it's been in the process for some time, but things were not done about it. And if you ask some stakeholders, they would say this board should have been in place as far back as many years. And where's the latest push coming from? What is the supportive role that the President is playing in this?
Well, we have a mandate from Mr. President. And that mandate we're pursuing vigorously. And I admire the vision and courage of Mr. President in taking steps in trying to make sure that we achieve food sovereignty. And this is one area that we believe that we can also expand and explore the opportunity that cocoa presents itself to the agricultural sector. It's tremendous opportunity, like I said. And we have gone to the next step, which is Mr. President's approval and the FEC approval. So now there's a draft bill that will be presented to the Ministry of Justice for clearance and onward submission to the National Assembly. In addition to that, the National Economic Council also adopted the setting up of the Cotton and Garments Board. And that too also we're working on it because there's a huge, tremendous opportunity in that aspect as well. So we're looking at agriculture not only for food sustainability, but we're also looking at agriculture for industrial opportunities that exist there. So we want to leverage on the huge arable land that we have. You know, all these two products, both cotton and cocoa, used to be the mainstay of Nigeria's economy. But today, due to the, I wouldn't say, but because of the oil, they have almost vanished on the surface. But with the mandate given to us and the vision of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, we have risen to that occasion and make sure that we achieve sustainability and sovereignty, food sovereignty.
Yeah, I'm very sure that most Nigerians cannot wait to see this board come up and then bring cocoa production to the rightful place that he is supposed to be for years. Now, Honorable Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Abubakar Kyari, we appreciate your time and perspectives.
Thank you very much, Musbao.
And to other issues, as President Bola Tinubu has promised to intensify partnership with state governments in delivering shared prosperity to the people of Nigeria, as building critical infrastructures across the country remains the determination of his government. The President said this as he addressed people of Anambra at the Alex Ekweme Square in Awka. The President inaugurated some legacy projects executed by Governor Chukwuma Soludo of Anambra. Third visit of President Tinubu to the southeast since assumption of office. It was a unified moment with governors from across the geopolitical zones joining the chief host to receive the president.
God of honor!
The commander-in-chief was also received by a detachment of the Nigerian military. Warm atmosphere in Awka. The strategic 50-year developmental plan of Anambra is beginning to come into fruition with some legacy projects of Governor Soludo providing solution to the infrastructural need of the state. The former Secretary General of the Commonwealth, Chief Emeka Anyoko himself, welcomed the President at the Institute of International Studies and Diplomacy, built in Unizik and named after him by the state government. The President also inaugurated the Solution Fund City and a new government house started and completed under the first term of the governor. And then, President Tinubu returned to the Alex Ekweme Square, where he came to seek for support ahead of the 2023 presidential election, this time as the sitting president. The president commended the governor's efforts in addressing insecurity and on other projects which he described as solid foundation for the growth of the state.
With our progressive ideological alliance, we will continue to partner with your state to deliver shared prosperity in Anambra and all Nigerians.
Highlighting various programs and policies of his administration and reforms which he said are already building investors' confidence, President Tinubu assures the people of Anambra of more federal government interventions, including rectification of the rail line and the National Gas Master Plan that for now bypass the state.
I'm standing before you that this already designed a Ministry of Transportation is aware to include the connection in the master plan. and it will see attention. Our diversity must lead to prosperity. We must work together.
Thank you for all the hard work you put in to move Anambra and Nigeria forward. We know the state of the Nigerian economy with all its unsustainable dysfunctionalities when you assumed office. You had the courage to tame the Atlantic Ocean in Lagos, and now you have the courage. You are courageously and systematically getting the economy to work again. There is still a lot of work to do, we know, but there is no doubt that in less than 2 years, important building blocks are already falling into place.
Another feather to the cap of the president, as the Council of Traditional Rulers, Anambra State, conferred on him the title of Dike Simba, translating to a warrior from another origin. The president also had some time for politics as the wave of defection into the All Progressives Congress, APC, continued to sprawl across the country, with the 3 senators from Kebbi State declaring their intention to join the ruling party. The senators made the declaration to President Bola Tinubu when he received political stakeholders from Kebbi, Sokoto and Zamfara State at the State House. The governors of Kebbi, Nasir Idris, and his counterparts from Sokoto, Hamad Aliyu, as well as some former governors were part of a meeting. After the meeting behind closed doors, the national chairman of the APC, Abdullahi Ganduje, revealed that the senators have received the blessing of the president. We had an interaction with the APC national chairman. Here is it.
We came here so that Mr. President will bless this resolution, and Mr. President has graciously blessed this resolution, and by Tuesday, I will urge you to go and see what will happen in the chambers.
Your Excellency, this really is something good for your party. Like you said, numerical strength, that's what you're looking at. But how do you manage this new influx of people coming into your party?
Our constitution is very clear about this, and not only that, our political dexterity in managing such affairs is on the table. So I assure you there will be a smooth integration.
And leaders have also warned against a one-party state. Are you disturbed? Is that what you're looking at? Is that your agenda?
One-party state, you see, if one-party state is a wish and blessing to Nigeria, one-party state is not by force. One-party state is by negotiation, is by other political parties seeing the effect of the positive governance of our party. If they decide to come into our party willingly, I think there's nothing like that. There's nothing with that. Today, democratic China is one of the most strong countries in the world, and it's a one-party system. We are not saying that we are working for one-party system, but if that is the wish of Nigerians, we cannot quarrel with that. You know, they say too many cooks spoil the soup. Too many political parties spoil governance.
And similarly, the recent spate of defection into the central ruling party, the All Progressives Congress, APC, has been attributed to the leadership quality and performance of President Bola Tinubu. Nasarawa State Governor Abdullahi Sule surveys in an interview with State House correspondent after his meeting with the president. The governor, who acknowledged that the social and economic reforms of the president are yielding tangible results, says this is also leading to more popularity for the APC.
People who are happy with what they are seeing with that, they are the people who are returning to the party. So I think the party is doing well, and for that reason, the president is also doing well. And that is the reason why people are joining. I don't believe, by the slightest of imagination, that we are going to be a one-party state. No matter what happens, there are people who are going to be in another party. And actually, we don't even want Nigeria to be a one-party state. We just want to be the dominant party. We just want to be the winning party. We just want to be the party with the, if we can win 90% of the votes, okay, that's it. The other parties can win 10% of the votes.
Governor Sheriff Oboriwori of Delta State, the latest sitting governor to join the ruling party, recently from the People's Democratic Party, PDP, also visited President Bola Tinubu at the State House on Tuesday. Details of their meeting were not made public. And away from politics, President Bola Tinubu has welcomed new initiatives by Qatari investors to explore opportunities in the agricultural sector and assured that Nigeria remains open to strategic partnership. The president gave the assurance when he received a special envoy from the Emir of the State of Qatar, led by the country's Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, Mohammed bin Abdulaziz Al Khulaifi. In a statement by the Presidential Advisor on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, President Tinubu emphasized Nigeria's readiness to build on the momentum generated by his state visit to Qatar in 2024, pledging to implement all bilateral agreements between the two countries. He directed the Minister of Budget and Economic Planning, Atiku Bagudu, the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, and the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Yusuf Tugal, to work together to ensure the timely execution of these agreements. The President acknowledged that the Qatari government had demonstrated maturity and foresight in working for global peace and deserves commendation. The President said Nigeria's partnership with Qatar can be implored by looking into food sovereignty and economic prosperity. The Qatar's minister conveyed the Emir's desire to strengthen the strategic partnership with Nigeria, particularly in peace-building, agriculture and petrochemicals. He expressed pride in the current level of relations and looked forward to expanding both government-to-government and people-to-people ties. And those were the highlights of how the President spent the week. Thanks a lot for being part of the program for the week. And Executive Recap will return, hopefully, next week with another package. I'm Musbadan Wahab. God bless you, and yes, God bless Nigeria.
Confidence is there. Hope is back for Nigeria.